Hello, this is Nana Heron for Table Time Arts, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're unboxing these Zenacolor acrylic markers. And why am I looking at acrylic markers? Because we are going to take a look at some rock painting today. Somehow I got roped into helping out with a rock painting project at work, and it's a little harder than it looks. And we were using some Sharpies, but the range of colors just isn't that great. So these had high reviews and the price was right. They were on sale. And so I bought a box. And what's really cool about these is that they have they're dual tips. So I'm gonna open this up and take a look at them. And I do have, of course, a rock here that I've already coated with gesso. It's been washed and dried and coated with gesso. And on the other side, I've already penciled in some lines. I'm going to set that aside for a second while we look at these markers. And I don't usually do the unboxing, so please bear with me. So there's 24 markers in here, and I found what the color that I really needed for some of my rock projects was brown, and this set comes with brown. And what I really like about these is, like I mentioned, it's the dual tip. So you've got a brush tip. So let me open this. So a nice brush tip like that. And then on the other side is a fine tip. So you can do either or, and with 24 colors, um, you have a lot to work with. So for today, I'm not actually going to look at all of the colors, but with the project I have in mind, I'm going to need black for sure. And I'm also going to need white. And this set also comes with metallics. So we have gold and silver metallic as well. And then I'm looking for the basic rainbow colors. So I'm going to need a red and an orange and a yellow. And then let's see if we can pick a green. Is there, let's go with maybe that green. And then a blue. And I'm not sure if we're going to go with a lavender and a purple. And oh, there's quite a few different shades of blue here. So I don't know. I might go with a light blue. Take a look at that. It's pretty light. I think I'll stick with the blue I chose first. And then maybe for the indigo, we'll go with that one. All right, I'm gonna put the rest of these away. Normally I would do a color swatch, but since we're working with a rock and there's only so much space, we're just gonna stick with our basic rainbow colors plus black and white. So right away, we're going to work on this area here, and I can zoom in a little bit and let's see how this works on a rock. So what I'm trying to make is hopefully a rainbow ladybug. I'm just going to start coloring this in because I want the little face to be black. And so far, this works really well. There was no priming or anything like that. And I would say when working with rocks, make sure to take the time to, I was originally told to rinse it off, but it's best to take a little dishwashing soap and take the time to actually wash your rock um, with soap and then rinse it, pat it dry, and then let it dry for ideally at least 24 hours. And then coat it. You can coat it with white acrylic paint, or you could also go with a gray acrylic paint. Um, I used, I actually used gesso to prime this one, and it took, I believe, 3 coats because the rock was originally gray. And it took several hours between coats because it was a very rainy day. All right. So I've got 1 coat of black on there, and it looks like it dries pretty quickly and it covers really well. And that was using the brush tip. I'm going to put the cap on that. And then I'm going to switch to red. So this looks like red, and hopefully it's a nice darker red. And I take the cap off of that, and I'm going to start going over it. And the thing that I've noticed about working with the acrylic markers is, for some reason, the reds are not a deep red. And I don't know why that is. I'll have to look into that. So what I had kind of been doing is I'll put down the marker red, and then I might go over it with um acrylics from the tube so that I can get that dark crimson red that I'm looking for. And let's see on the side here. What I've learned about working with rocks rather than paper, because I mostly, as most of you know, I mostly do the Zentangle on the nice paper tiles. But working with rocks has been a surprise challenge because the surface is not flat. And depending on the rock, some are more smooth than others. It definitely helps to coat it because some of my original ones are not coated in gesso. They were just uncoated, and that was pretty rough. Okay, I'm going to cap this. And red is taking a little longer to dry. And so I'm going to now take up my orange and work very carefully next to the red. So orange is kind of like an orange yellow. So I'm just going to put this down and then check the box to see if maybe there's a darker orange. So far, I definitely like the brush tips on this. And again, with no priming, um, they're pretty easy to work with. They seem juicy enough. And if you're worried about getting paint on your surface, you could certainly work on like a paper plate. Okay, so let's see on the edge here, try to get that a little more. The edge seems to have some kind of a seam, and that's just how the rock came. No. All right, a layer of that on there. Let me check the inside the box and see if there's another orange-like color. Nope. And that is the darkest orange that there is, and that's fine. So our red isn't quite red. It's not a crimson red, it's a light red, and our orange is also kind of a lighter orange. And then let's go to our yellow. Let's see here. So with the yellow, it's pretty light, so it's not covering quite as well. And it also wants to pick up the graphite. I had drawn my lines in with pencil. Just thought I would have some little guidance there. So yellow is definitely going to need a couple of coats. But it's a nice golden shade of yellow. We've got green here. This is probably going to be a light green. Yeah, so this is like I would call it kind of like a spring green. And again, looking in the box, I don't really see a darker green. Moving on to blue. This wasn't the lightest blue, it was the next lightest blue. The blue paint's nice and juicy though. I felt like out of all the colors I've used so far, probably the yellow was the driest. Not that it was dry per se, but it was drier than the other colors. Okay, that went on nicely. And I'm gonna pick one for kind of an indigo, a darker blue. So I like that I don't have to prime them. But I wish that the red were more of a darker crimson color and that the orange were a little bit more of an orange tone. That. And then let's see. For violet, do we want to go lighter or let's see, there's that, and then there's that. Um, that's a tough choice. I think I'm gonna go with the darker one actually. And we'll see how that goes here. Yeah, I think that's the right choice. All right, then I'm going to go on the side here and kind of add color on the bottom edge. Rocks are definitely more of a challenge to hold and work on, especially if you're like me and you have a little bit of neuropathy. It can be definitely a challenge. And probably the other side, I'll probably go over when I'm done with maybe a layer of black. But for right now, this is fine. So I just want to make sure I have enough over on the edge. All right, and then let's see. Definitely, probably with the indigo, need to go back in and bring that more edge. I feel like the more you practice with the rocks, the easier it gets, but it's definitely a challenge. So the green is definitely more like a yellow green. So I have the yellow out. I'm gonna go back over the entire stripe. Um, and just see if I can have it cover a little better. And let's see, orange. Orange is on there pretty good, but I'm gonna add another layer of orange as well because it's not as vibrant as I would like it to be. And the red, let's see, okay. Another coating of red as well. That looks a little better. All right, let's see. So we have all the colors down and they're kind of drying. So what I'm going to do now is take let's see, we should actually put some eyes on there. And I'm just gonna use, let's see, should I use the brush or the other side? I think I'll use the fine side. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Like that. And then with the brush side, I guess we could add some, gosh, eyelashes. Okay, so that's interesting. So for the white, actually the brush tip isn't covering as well as the pen tip. So switch back to the pen, the fine tip. Okay, got that. And then I'm going to, while that's drying, I'm going to go back with the black marker. And we want to separate the wings out. So that's kind of just like a straight line down the back. Trying to kind of eyeball the center. Sure. Get that all covered. There we go. All right. And then we probably want to put our antenna in at this point. I feel like I've got a little bit of a white dot here, so I'm gonna put some black on that. All right, antenna. So let's just draw those in. Like that. And I'd like the white to be a little whiter for the eyes. So I'm going to go back in, just make that a little more white. I wish the color looked a little bit better on the camera, but it is what it is. There's that. And then for the little spots on our little rainbow ladybug, I thought I would do Printemps instead. So we'll see how this works. Maybe I'll use the fine point for that. So let's see if that works out at all. And I had thought of switching to silver to add a little glam, but I think I'll stick with the black. So Printemps is just starting with a little cursive C and working your way around. And I'm just gonna make them kind of separate little spots. And you can kind of do one halfway on the side. That. Maybe add a little one over on the side. There. And the same thing on the other side, but I'm going to switch my rotation up a little bit and go the other way. And let's see if I can add another one here. Again, working on the curved, rounded shape is definitely a challenge for me. All right. So I've got some Printemps in there. And then I'm going to go back in with the black over the white. That. And then it is possible to add a little bit of sparkle. So let me find the silver. I think this is the silver one. So I'm just gonna go and add a little bit of sparkle in these center areas of the Printemps. Like that. And that's basically it for my little rainbow ladybug with a little bit of Zentangle with the Printemps. It's cute, and um, these Zenacolor acrylic markers work really well right out of the box. Um, I don't know how long they'll last, but they're definitely juicy and they mostly cover well. And I really love that I don't have to prime them. And I also really appreciate that there is the brush side and the fine tip side. So that's really awesome as well. And plus this box came with 24 colors, including the brown that I was having so much trouble finding. So far I would definitely recommend these. I also do have Sharpies and a set of Posca with just the basic colors, the white, black, gold, and silver. But if you need a lot of colors and different brush tips, um, these seem like a really nice, cool option. And they dry pretty quickly. So I can tell these are already definitely dry. I'm gonna let this dry for probably 24 hours and then seal it. Especially if you're giving them away, you probably want to seal it. But yeah, this went pretty well. Um, the only thing is I wish the red were a little more of a crimson red and the orange were a little more orangey, if you know what I mean. Um, and also with the green, I wish there was more of an option for a brighter green. Um, and maybe one of these colors in here is a different color green, but I'm just really not finding it. But I'll definitely be working more with these Zenacolor acrylic markers and check them out if you're looking for something to do rock painting with. You can also use these on different surfaces as well, including paper. So I might do that with a Zentangle tile for adding color. I might try that out. So overall, let's say on a scale of like 1 to 10, I would definitely at this point give these a solid 8 just because they're so easy to use and you get 24 colors in a box and it was I believe under $11 and you get a brush tip and a fine pen tip on each one. Um, I don't know yet how long these will last, but they seem to be quick drying and cover pretty well. So I do recommend them. Um, check them out on Amazon if you're looking for something like this. All right. Have a great night. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, it was just a spur of the moment thing since I'm experimenting with the rock painting, and it's definitely been a challenge. All right, have a good night. And remember, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me on this little experiment here. Bye.